The Elgin Cultural Arts Commission and Side Street Studio Arts present Black Then, Black Now, Black in the Middle, a spoken word event in honor of Black History Month. A special thank you to our sponsor, the African American Coalition of Kane County.
This piece is called The U.S. of KKK. It was written when the police killed George Floyd. It was on my heart, so I wrote it. Enraged is an understatement. Only anger is controlling the majority that's underrated. Tired of the injustice in a system that was built to destroy my kin. Shot down in front of family and friends, we all stand by crying, when will this end? How long will we be prosecuted for taking a knee when the police can take a knee on my brother's neck? Calm and collective as he watched him fight for his last breath, and I fought with him, gasping for air like it was my neck being bent like a rubber limb. As a black man in America, this is the norm. The prestige the white collars want us all to conform. Seeing my skin as a weapon and it causes me pain. Having to behave a certain way when being restrained. Arms visible, low tone. Vocalize your move or this could go wrong. Put your hands up, stop recording on your phone. Don't reach for your pocket, black man, your life could be gone. This is America and its broken system. People of color are the killed unmentioned. Fighting to be heard, so now we burning shit down. Letting our voices be heard in a huge, massive crowd because, contrary to belief, black voices are the key to our land. When you kill one, you kill all, and united we stand. The flames coming from the building ablaze is rooted from our ancestors' agony and pain. Never had a true chance to heal because we still fighting for our voice on the hill. Struggling like it's 1916. Swing hard, aim to hurt, although it's risky. Although we may die, spit on, and imprisoned, we're standing on the front line without a soul's permission, with a voice ready to shake the weak. We ain't playing no more, we taking it to the streets. No longer are we standing back in defeat to keep the peace. Separate the violent from the weekend. Destroy what was built in one weekend. Dub the violent and the crazy race? Nah, we just fight until we reach our rightful place. Our voice is unheard, so now we speak with action, taking back our rights and our throne. Now let that be the caption. Peace.
Hi, my name is Shla George, and I was born on October 19, 1997, mark the date. My parents came to America from Nigeria with nothing on their backs, just fate. Their tongues uttered the idea of opportunities with the chance for their children to succeed. Growing up, I was often ashamed of my Nigerian culture, being told by my own race to go back to Africa as if I didn't belong. But you see, as soon as that statement was made, I knew that they were wrong, because I am more proud of my culture now than I have ever been. Speaking words in a language that I didn't even know existed, my tongue twisted, my speech clear, the traditional Nigerian garments I am not afraid to wear. And when you see another ethnicity added into this diverse mixing pot we call America, I see a culture that stands as tall as skyscrapers and welcomes anyone of any descent like a warm cup of coffee. No water added to diminish the bitterness, no sugar or 1, 2, 3 cups of cream to decrease how strong it tastes. We are as powerful as a dust storm blowing in your face. We are here, you see. In Nigerian culture, we stuff our face with moi moi, pounded yam, agusi soup, jollof rice, and have families and friends partying and placing money on our foreheads as it trickles down to our feet. And we enjoy the atmosphere. Not a care in the world. See, this girl was put into this world with these tight curls and brown melanin, and I grin as I enjoy the skin that I'm in. We are like an atomic bomb that we all know is coming. And when it explodes, everyone will begin to scurry, please. Hurry, the willpower we display might scare you. And the richness in our accents may be strong, it's true, but the beauty in our dialect that is spoken in Yoruba is the epitome of music to one's ear. And for years, I never knew the beauty of my own culture. My culture, this hot cup of coffee, no artificial sweetness to make it easier to swallow, just the fresh brewed coffee beans in a straw to mix it with. Do you follow? My culture creating the most delectable foods that will ever water out of one's mouth, as if it was a waterfall that never ran barren. My culture, unapologetically, prideful, insightful, enlightening, within a slew of words that's barely even begin to scratch the surface of my Nigerian culture. This is what my culture means to me. And as long as I live, I will continue to explore the depths of my culture as hard as it may seem. Hi, my name is Shla George, and I was born on October 19, 1997, mark the date. I wasn't born into this culture by fate. There's a purpose. This next piece I'm going to perform is entitled A Bond, and it talks about the sisterhood and brotherhood between African-American males and African-American females. And it talks about how this bond forms a unity within a community that's unbreakable. So without further ado, here's A Bond. You ever had a bond with someone? The type of bond that without it you can't go on, the type of bond where you've been knowing your homies since you guys were in diapers, sucking on pacifiers, climbing baby climbers, and doing whatever your little heart desired will, because you guys had that bond. But according to www.google.com, they define bond as a force that unites people, like how MLK told us to keep fighting for equality for our children and our children's children so that we could keep up this never-ending sequel to this story called Injustice. But newsflash, Justin, it has been reported that there are people in this room here right now who are working towards degrees to build their own legacy, and as hard as things may seem in times of hardship, remember that you're alive and you're breathing and you will rise above the darkness, triumphant. You may have been fighting that fight for someone you love, someone you cared about, your community, or something that was dear to you, a family that without it you'd be through. But see, this bond with other individuals is one of the things that allow us to keep striving for success, to keep striving for our best, to strive to lift that burden up off your chest. I mean, this bond can be found in people who have left this world. That bond is still present and their legacy lives on. I mean, that bond is where it takes a village to raise a child, and that's that Inyuwa Chekua Kejiji Kilua Muchocho type of proverb from Africa. And I'm telling you, this bond we share is something strong. And when I tell you this bond from one black child to another is a bond that must carry on, it's something that has to be carried on so our legacy lives on. I mean, that legacy of standing up in the face of injustice, that legacy of knowing how powerful you are, never fret, because this legacy can never stray too far, and neither can that bond. See, that bond that we share with each other isn't some type of normal interaction. See, many wouldn't even comprehend what's happening. And when our minds collide, we put our thoughts into action and it becomes reality. Strong leaders, soon to be. And actually, our legacy can become stronger if we stand as a pack, not in fear. Daughters and sons turning the unruly systematic tables one by one. We're invincible. And we ain't come to play, honey. This, that I may live in Elgin, but you can't take the N out of my Chicagoan roots. Chicago, where I'm from, where many storytellers, Nigerian roots have came to tell their truth. The truth of a legacy that lives in all of us. A legacy that in order to maintain it's gonna take some guts. I mean, this is something that I can't even stress. I don't care if you're at your worst or at your best. We share a bond of culture, of love, of leaders, of sons. And this ain't no test. So when someone asks you ever had a bond with someone? Say yes. Because we done already been broken and shattered apart. But now you're a part of a bond that will soon lead to a legacy that lives on.
Good evening. This is Chalet Cortes, and we're here at Side Street Studio Arts. And I'm going to perform a piece within the theme titled Black Then, Black Now, Black in the Middle. We went from indigenous to Negro, to colored to black. Black had a negative connotation, so for centuries there's been a lack. Lack of resources, education, equality, and the likes, denied freedom, denied opportunity, denied spaces. It wasn't right. Back then, I probably couldn't say this, but this country has been racist. And there needs to be a switch of consciousness, kind of like a shapeshift, because right now, we are all in the midst of changes. So if you come from a place of privilege, then I hope you know just how outrageous it is to be black in the middle. Right in the middle of a system with many faces. Help us with the solution, because I swear we didn't create this. We could be in the middle of work, middle of a walk, middle of sleeping, and still seen as a threat. Driving in the dark is like playing Russian roulette. Our livelihood, Just our beingness is a risk. Slavery may have ended, but oppression still exists.
Black, simply defined, is the opposite of white. History, simply defined, is the continuous systematic narrative relating to past events of a particular people, place, or period. Black history, simply defined, is the continuous systematic narrative relating to the past events of Black people. Not inferior or superior history, not first or last history, but specific by definition to a particular group of people in history. Black history. It is often reduced down to a political debate of he said, she said. This narrative represents the skeletons that have been tossed into the subconscious closet of American history's memory, where fear and ignorance attempt to drown out its voice. It is there that history is edited, names are changed, events are deleted, and truth is diluted. But the truth does not come in a variety pack. Truth can never truly be diluted, but it can be doctrined up. And history is never silent. Black history. These two words can create such confidence or conflict, undeniable unity or devastating division, pride or prejudice. Why? The truth? Because the origins of Black history are dark, inhumane, evil, and relevant. This narrative has the power to speak from the grave, uncovering the hidden, morally corrupt monsters that hide under the bed of American history's true intentions. But that's not where this narrative ends. This narrative stands ever ready to define or redefine, introduce or reintroduce the divine purpose, plan, and position of a particular people in history that continually rise with supernatural resilience from the ashes of handed-down destruction. History never remains silent. Shh. Can you hear her? Look at me. Look at me when I'm speaking to you, and I am always speaking to you. America, you may have been able to confuse my voice, but you cannot remove my marks. Look at me. I am the test you will continue to take until you pass, the mountain you will continue to circle. You cannot rebuild and restore what you will not acknowledge is broken. Look at me, America, unedited, uncensored, and uncovered. I am the Middle Passage. 12.6 million Africans forcibly kidnapped and not one reported missing. I am the plantation owner, sowing seeds of fear and proudly cultivating a spirit of inferiority through rape and murder. I am the auction block, the origins of the fatherless home where families were ripped apart and children were replaced and removed from their mother's breast. Look at me, America, unedited, uncensored, and uncovered. I am the slave patrollers. See, I utilize my legal authority to patrol, protecting and serving by keeping the runaway Negro slave Michael Brown, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the runaway slave in place. I am the Jim Crow era, created to marginalize the Negro with an added benefit. See, I perpetuate an atmosphere of fear and intimidation so that the Negro never fully feels comfortable enough to move freely around, well, the land of the free. I give law-abiding white citizens the responsibility to question the Negro's presence at any time and anywhere, and I give them the courage to defend themselves from perceived danger. I am little black boys in hoodies with candy in their hand walking who never make it home because they are unable to disarm the perceived threat, the very color of their skin. Look at me, America, uncovered, unedited, and uncensored. I am landmark court decisions. I am Brown versus the Board of Education in 1955. I am the Voting Acts Right of 1965. I am Loving versus Virginia in 1967. I am persistent. I am the soldiers, the forefront runners of the civil rights movement. I am the freedom riders of 1961, the Children's Crusade of 1963, Selma to Montgomery in 1965. I am present. I am unapologetically proud and Black, educated and articulate. I am James Baldwin, Cornel West, Nikki Giovanni, and Langston Hughes. I am Mahalia Jackson's gospel soul and Motown's rhythm and blues. I am creators and innovators. I am musicians and entertainers. I am athletes, professionals, and entrepreneurs. I am sons and daughters, husbands and wives, mothers and fathers. Look at me, America, not only where I've begun, but how far I have come. History cannot be rewritten, and my marks cannot be erased. Let's try something different. Let's try something new. Stop calling me by my nickname. You know, Black history. It causes too much confusion. It creates blurred lines between fact and fiction, urban legend and reality. Maybe if we call me by my full name, it'll give some clarity and put some respect on it. I am Black, African, American history. Black, simply defined, is the opposite of white. African, simply defined, are those originating from Africa or of African descent. American, simply defined, as the inhabitants of Americans, citizens of the United States. History, simply defined, is a continuous systematic narrative relating to past events of a particular people, place, or period. I am the continuous systematic narrative of African American people in America. Black history is American history. Attempting to separate the two is as impossible as attempting to separate the Holy Trinity. Look at me, America, unedited, uncensored, and uncovered. It is here on the shores of America that Confederate flags flow freely while bodies hang from trees and crosses burn in front yards. It is here that 3,446 reported lynchings happened from 1882 to 1968. It is here that 399 Black men were intentionally infected with syphilis. It is here that opportunities are used as pawns in the amazing race for equality. It is here that an African American can be shot and killed while sitting in their own home and then put on trial. It is here that taking a knee to peacefully protest murder and brutality can be interpreted as a terrorist act, while taking a knee and putting it on the throat of an unarmed Black man, killing him, can be interpreted as following protocol as a lawful act. It is here. History cannot be erased, and contrary to popular belief, it cannot be rewritten. Truth cannot be diluted, but it can be doctrined up, and history is never silent. America, it is only when you acknowledge me, look at me, listen to me, learn from me, embrace me, that you are less likely to repeat me. I am Black, African, American history. I am American history. I am your history. Look at me, America. Unedited, uncensored, uncovered. Now is the time to look at me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Sangster. I'm originally from San Diego, California, by way of down south in Kentucky and Atlanta, Georgia. I've been living in Elgin for about 4 years, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to perform this piece, which is called His Story, Her Story, and My Story. His story is her story, is my story. We are still doing the same marches as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and John Lewis. We are enduring the same protesting, the same rioting, and the same looting as the civil rights movement. Same police brutality as our grandfathers and grandmothers have witnessed. History is repeating itself. This is his story. Say his name. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown Jr., Tamir Rice, and George Floyd. This is her story. Say her name. Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor. This is my story. Am I next? I can't keep calm. I have a Black son. I have to teach him that they are here to protect and serve, but he might get stopped for no reason at all because of the color of his skin. I also have to teach him how to ask for help in case of an emergency. This is in a state of emergency. Some believe that COVID-19 was created for population control, and some believe that it was created to wipe out the Black population or watered down version of genocide. The way I feel inside is a state of relief, a state of peace and hope. We are finally released from the hatred, bigotry, and blatant racism that we have witnessed and dealt with for the past 4 years. We have witnessed that it is okay to shoot up a church and kill 9 innocent lives and still live. We have witnessed rioters at the White House and still live. Yet our people are being killed and shot in their own home. My story is one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. In the words of the late Jamaican reggae star, Bob Marley, Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican leader who would unify and connect all people of African descent all over the world. Across the board, our vice president is a Black representation of me. I am African Jamaican descent, but I still check Black or African American on my applications. Gentrification is taking over our Black communities instead of investing in our Black communities, creating more jobs, more wealth, and more Black economic development. This is America by Childish Gambino, where you get 2 months sentence for college bribery, but you get a 2-year sentence because you can't make bail. We have a long way to go, but with open dialogue, showing empathy and compassion for one another is the key, no matter if you're Black, white, legal immigrant, or LGBT. This is the only race, is the human race. We are in this together. This is just the beginning of my story.
Imagine that for 1 second, scratch that, 1 minute, scratch that, 1 hour. Imagine that for 1 hour you were stuck within the body of a Black woman. Imagine feeling like the most underprotected, disliked, unappealing, unloved, underappreciated, most hated, most hunted, most lonely being on earth. Imagine. Growing up in a household that does not know you, cultivating friendships with those who kinda do, tiptoeing everywhere you go like a fucked up puzzle piece, trying to find where you fit, the workplace you don't fit, the outside world you don't fit, relationships you don't fit, you're too loud, you're too attitudinal, you're too provocative, you're too outspoken, you are a fetish. Your strength slowly metamorphosizes itself into submission as you submit to this white man's world. You continue to try to fit in a puzzle that you were never made for, the Black woman. A puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit on social media until she's a hashtag, a trend on TikTok, a t-shirt, or an Instagram trend. She doesn't receive the love she deserves until she is lost. How will the world react when my puzzle piece is lost? The Black woman. The black woman. Imagine for a second, oh wait, I said an hour, but now I'm gonna demand 2 hours out of your entire damn life to imagine what it is like to be us. Jesus liked using parables as comparisons, fables, so to speak. So here's a parable. Imagine the black woman as a book of paper, a book of construction paper, black construction paper, and imagine everyone else as crayons. If you are listening to this poem and you are not a black woman, you are a crayon. Construction paper is strong but also fragile. Black construction paper often doesn't get used. It gets thrown away. For you see, you cannot color on black construction paper, or you can. But the only color that can be seen on black construction paper is white. Who is that white crayon that colors on and uses this black construction paper, you ask? Well, this is a parable, so you figure it out. You look at this black construction paper, and after everyone has used her or it, all you see is white scribbles of microaggressions, racist remarks, barks that do not come from dogs, but from creatures that God did not create. Upon closer inspection, you find bullet holes, stab wounds, cuts, rips. Upon closer inspections, you see different colors, scribbles, even black. For you see, this black construction paper has been written on in black crayon as well, but no one sees it. No one acknowledges it. Soon the black construction paper is nothing. Nothing but a piece is left, but not an entire piece, but a piece of a piece, for this black piece of garbage covered the writings of the entire crayon box has also been burned, gas-lit. What color does black turn when it burns? Now imagine. Imagine the pain a black woman goes through every day while also carrying the bullshit of everyone else. Imagine that the same black woman you invalidate has pain that's not visible to the naked eye. Your vision is impaired. Wake up. Wake up. Imagine. Image in which she seemed happy, smiling, cheesing. Remember, the next time you see a black woman smiling, remember that when black construction paper burns, it's still black.